my trash stars, it's me, Penny Angela. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, you guessed it, as you can tell from the title, it's my snob list. If you are new here, my snob list is basically a list where I discuss my favorite things of the month, from food, drink, movies, books, my thoughts, all of the fun stuff. And if you're asking, why are you calling it a snob list? I'm just making fun of myself. I do feel sitting here telling you all of the cinema that I've watched and all the books I've read and the music I'm listening to, it is kind of snobby. It's snobby, it's pretentious. It's okay to be a fucking snob, okay? Like, we're all snobby about something, right? So it's okay to be a little snobby. My snob list is a list of my favorites. So you follow me on Letterboxd, or you're like, why aren't you talking about every movie you watched? I'm only talking about the films, the books that I enjoyed for the month. Just wanted to get that out the way. Start with books. So for books, literature, if you will, I finished reading Bluebeard's Castle by Anna Biller. I was reading that book for forever and I'm finally done with it. I am reading a new book now in March, which you guys will hear about in April. Bluebeard's Castle, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 9. Probably now one of my favorite books. Judith, I understand you, girl. I definitely would have fallen for all of those tricks. Especially when you're a lover girl and you're a hopeless romantic. You are prone to people being crazy with you. Spoiler alert, if you haven't read the book and you want to read the book, I am about to, drop some spoilage, okay? I'm about to spoil some stuff. I was actually shocked by the ending. I was not expecting the protagonist to die. I just figured there would be some way that this would be somewhat of a happy ending. There wasn't a happy ending. And what I do like about the way this book ended is that it shows you, if you keep going back and playing these games with these toxic ass men, the outcome is likely not going to be a good one. Ultimately, these men are never going to change. And I love that the book doesn't blame the victim. It pretty much tells you that the most intelligent woman, the most strong-willed woman, when it comes to a man that sees women as prey, and this is their game, and they are top tier, grade A narcissist, grade A psychopath, sociopath, whatever. It's really hard to get out of that cycle and get out of that trap, because oftentimes the woman is not even aware that they are in that trap, because these people are so good at charming the pants off of anyone. They can charm even your parents. The guy she marries in this book, he was so charming even to her sisters, and her sisters, when she began to get a little afraid of him, her sister was like, no, he would never do that. He's so nice. He's so sweet. He's so caring. You're over exaggerating. These narcissistic men, they have a way of manipulating situations. So a cautionary tale, if you will. Definitely enjoyed Bluebeard's Castle. It was the only book I've read because I've been so busy filming and doing other art projects, and mostly watching film, because Miss Cinephile over here, okay? Miss Pretentious Letterboxd final fucking boss. Yes, that is me. I feel like people don't want to add me on Letterboxd because they feel I'm gonna judge the movies they watch. I'm not gonna judge. I just want to know. Like, I just want to know. You can flame my choice in film. Speaking of film, let's discuss the films that make the snob list for the month of Feb. I'm gonna open up my Letterboxd, okay? Well, yes. Also, if you're not following me on Letterboxd, what are you doing, babe? Follow me on Letterboxd. I won't judge you, I promise. I watch so many movies, like, it's actually insane. I'm here on my Letterboxd, right? For the month of February, I watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 movies. 19, 20. I will say 20 because one movie I watched the last day of February, and then I fell asleep and then I finished it March. So I watched 20 movies in the month of February. It's like, what, 28 days in that month? So I'm not going to talk about every single film I watched. First film on my snob list will be No Country for Old Men. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. Basically, a guy stumbles upon dead bodies, drugs, and a wad load of cash, millions of dollars of cash. And there's this killer that has this insane helmet haircut and he's looking for that money that this guy found, okay? A modern day Western cat and mouse sort of thing. It takes place in the great American Southwest, which is obviously very near and dear to my heart. I love the great American Southwest. I have not watched a modern day Western this good. I mean, the Americana motifs, fine shit is up in this movie, okay? The main character in this movie is played by Josh Brolin, and he looks so sexy, you guys. Like, he is like, I'm like looking at him, I'm like, oh my god, fine shit. Like, fine shit is mentioned. This movie is more than just a fine shit. Let me read my review. I wrote on my Letterboxd, which you should be following me on, I said, Texas noir meets neo-western. Javier Bardem is menacing in this. He's like a Grim Reaper. When you see him, you know death is at your front door and there's no escape once you're in his path. His acting is sadistic, and he played the role of a villain superbly. Not overdone, but also not underplayed. I really like the way this film explored morality and selfish greed, and the ending was so well done. I enjoyed how no one gets their wish. Ultimately, no one won. No final shootout, no final cop kills, bad guy, or anything of that sort. The guy you're rooting for all movie, spoiler alert, the guy you're rooting for all movie dies, and we don't know what happens to him. Nor does it happen by the guy who's been chasing him the entire time. This may anger some viewers, and I get that, but I enjoyed the path this film took in terms of it not being conventional. Ultimately, it makes you think, is there a balance of good and evil in this world? And if not, will there ever be? Side note, Josh Brolin is very sexy Americana cowboy, and that was just an added bonus. Long-winded review. Also on Letterboxd, I write reviews, okay? I don't just like give a rating, which is fine. I immerse myself. I immerse myself, okay? Because I fucking love film and I love Letterboxd, so yeah, No Country for Old Men, highly recommend. The next film on my stop list is Vivre sa vie, directed by Jean-Luc Godard, starring Anna Karina. French New Wave. I love French New Wave cinema so much. I'm thinking about doing an entire video about French New Wave. Vivre sa vie stars Anna Karina, as I said, directed by Jean-Luc Godard. Basically, it's about a young woman played by Anna. She works at a record store. Obviously, the record store does not pay as much as other jobs. She needs money. She's asking her coworkers for money. She needs money. So basically, she ends up in the world of prostitution. Vivre sa vie has about 12 episodic tales, right? So it's like 12, and this is something that is really prominent in French New Wave, in particular the style of Jean-Luc Godard and the way he directs films, mini episodes, right? And I'm not gonna get too into the stylistic elements of French New Wave. You know, some people think it's pretentious, it's all over the place, it has no theme, and I would say to those people they are wrong. This is, to me, one of Godard's best films, honestly. The music is it's melodic but menacing. It's a beautiful scene when she's watching Joan of Arc, the close-up of her face. There are so many beautiful close-ups of Anna's face.
Dire ce qu'il faut, de façon à ce que ça soit juste, c'est-à-dire que ça ne blesse pas, que ça dise ce qu'il faut dire, que ça fasse ce qu'il faut que ça fasse.
I feel like I'm really bad at describing things unless I'm writing them down. That's why I'm a writer. If you haven't watched any French New Wave films, Vivre sa vie, I feel will be a great start for you. I'm going to do a YouTube video on French New Wave. That genre of cinema is really inspiring to me stylistically as a filmmaker and as a poet, because it mixes poetry and film obviously together into one, and it's something that really invigorates me. So I love Anna Karina. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about Jean-Luc Godard, and I understand. The way he writes female characters can either make you want to scream and jump off the Empire State Building, or it can make you fall in love with them. I always generally fall in love with the female leads in his movies, but you know, there are things that I have questions about, but he's just like an art bro. You just have to accept the pretentiousness of Jean-Luc Godard and who he was. I love Vivre sa vie. The ending is a gut punch. I'm not gonna spoil any more films in this review, but Vivre sa vie, mwah, chef's kiss. The next film on my snap list is The Girl with the Needle. You can find this movie on Mubi, which is where I streamed it. It's another Criterion Channel type app. I personally prefer Criterion, but Mubi is another great resource. The Girl with the Needle will leave you wanting to scrub your brain clean. It is really, really unnerving. The movie takes place in post-World War II Copenhagen. Pardon my pronunciation. It was filmed in 2024, but it is all black and white. So it follows this woman who is pregnant by a rather rich man who wants to marry her, but obviously he's rich, so the mom doesn't approve and yada yada yada. She's taken in by this charismatic older woman who runs an underground adoption service for young mothers that can't have their children. They cannot afford the baby, or maybe they get pregnant too young and their parents can't find out, or whatever reason. That is just the tip of the iceberg about what happens in this film. It led me to a place that I did not expect, and there's not many modern day films that can evoke that sort of emotion out of me. Really refreshing, this movie. Time where most modern films are these big blockbuster hits or striving to be. It's like Marvel Universe out. Girl with the Needle, the complete opposite of all of what's in the mainstream media. This movie deserves every freaking award. It was nominated, I believe, for a few Oscars. I don't know if it won any Oscars. I don't think it did, but it deserved it. The Girl with the Needle and The Last Showgirl so far are the best films of 2025 that I've seen. The Girl with the Needle, I recommend everyone to watch it. Everyone that's watching this should watch it. I feel like if you are a subscriber of mine, you will definitely enjoy that movie. The next film is Masculine Feminine. I'm not French, right? So Masculine Feminine, whatever. Masculine Feminine, you know what I mean. It's a Jean-Luc Godard film. I did watch other films by French New Wave directors, but they did not make my stop list for this month. I will again discuss French New Wave in greater detail later in this channel. I did rate this 3 stars on Letterboxd. Personally find Jean-Pierre like annoying. He is just such like a little brat to me. Like, I don't know, I found him very like annoying. Some girls swoon over him. He's insufferable in many ways, but that is his vibe. That's the point of him. Also stars Chantal Goya. It is beautiful and ravishing in this film. I feel like if this movie came out in 2025, people would consider it very woke because it speaks about communist theories. It speaks about society, culture, politics, starting revolutions, being young in the middle of a crazy world and asking yourself, what can I do to effectively change the way society is going? What can I do to spark a revolution? Will people follow me if I try to start a revolution? Do people even really want actual liberation? Which is a question that a lot of us probably are asking ourselves today. Synopsis here in Letterboxd, it basically says, Jean-Luc Godard's swinging look at youth and love in Paris today. Paul, a young idealist trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life, takes a job interviewing people for a market research firm. He moves in with aspiring pop singer Madeline. Paul, however, is disillusioned by the growing commercialism in society when Madeline just wants to be successful. The story is told in a series of 15 unrelated vignettes, and again, the vignettes, that's very classic Godard, as we just said in Viva sa vie. There was 12 little vignettes episodes in that film, and this has 15. They're unrelated, but they're related in a way. The ending of this film really, again, gutted me. Godard has a way to just end a film the way he ends a fucking film. Like, why are you like that? But I also love it, obviously, because I keep coming back for more. Oddly enough, this was my first time seeing Masculine Feminine. Masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, whatever, bitch. I am cold-blooded American. Red, white, and blue bleeds in my veins, honey, okay? So, don't be getting mad at the way I pronounce shit. I'm trailer trash. I'm just looking at a review here on Letterboxd, and it says Jean-Pierre Leon failing to look cool while flipping a cigarette in his mouth, failing to find a way to express his feelings, failing to find a way to engage in philosophy or poetry beyond laundromat soliloquies and record your own record booths, like failing to engage in politics beyond graffiti slogans. Yes, call his ass out. The way he pops cigarettes in his mouth in this film, it's so pretentious, it's so stupid. It's like, you need to stop. But ever like lived in Brooklyn, if you ever went out to like a bar in Silver Lake or Echo Park, you know like the type of vibe this guy is. Like, it's just honestly too fucking much for me, but it is a good film. My review on Letterboxd reads, this is about to be just me talking about film. Like, oh my gosh, I need to shut up. One of my favorite lines in this film, and I wrote it on Letterboxd, it reads, if you kill a man, you're a murderer. If you kill 1,000,000 men, you're a conqueror. If you kill them all, you're God. There's 3 more movies I want to talk to you about, because again, this has been the month of film for me. As per usual, I watch a movie like every day. Next is Gas Food Lodging. This you can find on Tubi. It's free. Tubi is amazing, you guys. Like, Tubi is a great resource if you don't have Mubi or Criterion. The selection is different, but the selection on Tubi is actually very my aesthetic, if you know what I mean. Gas Food Lodging, this is very Americana. It takes place in New Mexico. It follows 3 women, a mother that works at a diner and her 2 teenage daughters. Fairuza Balk, who is also known for her role in The Craft, she stars in this movie. She plays a really whimsical, nerdy, cinephile young teenage girl that is in love with film and cinema, and she has her cool teen sister that all the boys like, and you know, she's always on dates and she's popular and she's a bad girl. She never goes to school, and they're opposite in that way. I love when the 90s do Americana motifs. Film follows 3 women, as I said, of the same lineage, going through different stages of womanhood and what that means, the complexities, the intricacies of women, the men that they meet, the men that leave them and hurt them, the men that have them questioning things, the questions, the answers they find to said questions regarding the men in their lives, taking your own journey, finding out about your own self and your own authenticity and what you want out of life. It is a beautiful movie, and I recommend it to anyone that loves Lana Del Rey. It's good. I gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. Motifs of loneliness, but also hope, perseverance, curiosity, love, the importance of a man and a woman's life, both good and bad. There's themes of fatherhood, teen pregnancy, all of that is in this movie, so I definitely recommend you guys watch it. It's a fun movie. It's not sad or happy. It's not bad or good. It is just life. And I really do like movies that just fall realistically on the spectrum of entertainment. It's not good or bad. It's just life. Last movie I watched was on the last day of February, and that was Eyes Wide Shut. This is my first time like really watching it. When I watched it again, I'm like, oh no, I've seen this before. But holy friggin' shiz. Stanley Kubrick. What a genius you are. The last words from a film out of Stanley Kubrick's brain. The last word in a Stanley Kubrick's film is the word fuck. This was his last film, you know, before he passed, so this is what we got, was Eyes Wide Shut. Makes you think AF, okay? If you are aware of Stanley Kubrick, you already know what he's bringing to the table. I don't really need to discuss too much about this movie, but definitely say, yeah, this is now one of my new favorite movies. I gave it like 4 stars on Letterboxd. It makes you think about a lot of what's going on in this world, what's going on in the underbelly of this world. It's very surreal in that way. It's very Lynchian. I won't even say Lynchian because Kubrick is a mastermind in his own way, in his own right. It has his own aesthetic, obviously. He also directed one of my favorite, or no, it is my favorite horror movie of all time. That is The Shining. Nothing beats that to me. Nothing scares me as much as The Shining, because there is nothing scarier than a man, honestly. You don't need a monster under your bed. You don't need a vampire. You don't need the boogeyman. That's what The Shining, see, when I talk about film, I get so crazy, and I feel like I'm talking about film too much in this video when there's other things to discuss, so I'm gonna leave it there. Eyes Wide Shut. Let's get into music. For the month of February, my music taste, oddly enough, I was listening to a lot of Drake and Future. I really miss 2014, 2016 Drake, 2014 Future. That era of trap music where if you were a stripper, or if you had stripper friends, like the clubs, they were lucrative, girls were making money, a certain aesthetic going on. I don't know, the music was just fun and good. I was listening to a lot of broadcasts this month. Now, as a gatekeeper, you know, doing these snob lists, I'm like, damn, I am going to be putting people onto things that I usually would gatekeep. I love broadcast. I've done a cover of me singing Tears in a Typing Pool on this YouTube channel. It's somewhere If you scroll through my videos, you will see me singing a cover of a broadcast song, listening to a lot of broadcasts. This month, somewhere in this video, I'll leave you my favorite songs that I've been listening to of them. The sound is very like 60s. It's very 60s inspired, dreamy, electro, alternative pop, not from the 60s. Unfortunately, the lead singer has passed away. Believe she had like bronchitis. Don't quote me. It was an illness. She gets sick and she passed in like 2013, 2012. I'm not sure. They are so underrated, so underlooked. I recommend you guys all to listen to broadcasts if you haven't already. There's just no way you won't fall in love with her voice and the way the music sounds. Creative obsessions for this month, as always, I don't know, film. It's been film, and it's also been YouTube. I've been creatively exploring different ways to make my videos more engaging, but I'm just trying to find ways to make my videos more engaging and interacting and fun for you guys. I don't even know if you guys really like these sort of videos where I talk to you about all the snobby shit that I like for the month, but it is what's going on. So I will say creatively, I've really been into mastering my aesthetic when it comes to YouTube. Into the beauty really quick. So for beauty, basically I've just been really into curling my hair with flexi rods. I haven't straightened my hair all January, and I usually have my hair pin straight at least like for a few weeks out of each month because I do love that long straight look. Lately I've been into flexi rods and just having this like chill wave. Someone said my hair reminded them of Veronica Lake. Love that compliment. So that's what I've been doing. Things that I've learned and or realizations. I've been quite a stoic motherfucker this past month, okay? And stoicism is something that I feel we all need to work on implementing in our lives in some way or the other. Let me read you the Google definition of stoicism. Stoicism is a philosophy that emphasizes developing self-control and virtue to achieve a good life. Stoicism is about learning to accept change and embrace it. Self-control and virtue. Self-control and virtue. It's something that I've struggled with in the past. Now I'm very stoic. I deal with anything now. It's like, okay. Yeah, okay. You can think that, you can say that, like, okay. Not letting people know the cards that you have in your deck, right? It's a way of having control over situations and not letting situations have control over you and your emotions. I am a very emotional based person. I am an artist, so by default, I am very emotion driven. I often don't think before I react. It's just pure emotion. Practicing stoicism has been really, really powerful and insightful for me because I've been finding ways to sit back and let people or situations occur without really expressing fully maybe even what I want to express. And this is something that I should have done last month. I know I spoke about like the political psychosis and my old friend and, you know, their whole thing and them not being my friend anymore. I should have just said okay to that text message. I should have just been like, that's cool, okay. Because ultimately there is really no reason to explain yourself. You have to understand, when you explain yourself, you're explaining yourself often to someone about a situation where they pretty much have their mindset. So you're pretty much like begging in a way, and we are all guilty of this. I said, you ate my last cookie, right? And I don't care generally what you're gonna say. I'm like, but I'm gonna confront you. Why did you eat my last cookie? Let's say if you didn't even eat the last fucking cookie, bitch. Like someone else did. You didn't even know there was a cookie. You're like, no, I didn't eat a cookie. You're writing this long text about, I was actually at work at that time and blah, 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 and this happened, blah, blah, blah. The other party's mind is already set up that, or is already made up that you ate that cookie, regardless of what you say, right? So you are just basically preaching and preaching and preaching, trying to drive a point that has no wheels to get across. So now with me practicing stoicism, had that situation happen this month, I just would have been like, okay, sure, those reactions may be considered petty or childish, or it may madden the opposing party with those responses, but I think even in the workplace, it's really important to have a stoic nature about yourself. And as I start a new job tomorrow, that is how I'm going to pretty much behave. 4 tenets of Stoicism, as said by Google: self-control. Develop self-control to overcome destructive emotions. Reason, become a clear thinker to understand the universal reason. Virtue, practice virtue to achieve happiness and self-realization. Serenity, achieve serenity or ataraxia by putting aside passions and strong emotions. Dichotomy of control, distinguish between what you can control and what you can't. Internalize goals, do your best to bring about certain changes even if your efforts don't succeed, which is definitely how I feel with my whole career as an artist. And last is accept that the past has happened and you can't change it. So that is my snob list for the month of February. I know this was a long-winded one. Basically a film review. It was pretty much me talking about film for how many minutes? I mean, we're at 42 minutes on here. We'll see how I edit this video down. Yeah, it's pretty much my review of films I wanted to discuss. Again, I watched about 21 movies in the month of February. Actually rechecked and it was 21. So that was a lot. A 28-day month, I watched 21 films. I didn't speak about a lot of them. If you want to know what I did watch, please go and follow me on Letterboxd. Hopefully for the month of March, there will be more books. There will be more TV, maybe. I don't know. Let me know if you guys enjoy these sort of videos, my little monthly snob list of the month. Thank you so much for being supportive and being here for me and growing with me in my channel. I know me discussing my writing and my art and all this stuff, especially for the people that found me earlier in my YouTube career, where it was me kind of like a cash grab, grabbing people in with the bimbo stuff. Not saying that wasn't true, but if you know me and if you've been following me on Instagram or for the longest of time, you know that this is pretty much who I am. At my core, I always come back to my true north, and here we are. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that like button, and comment. Commenting lets the algorithm know that you like me, and it lets other people know that maybe they should like me too. I love you so much, my little trash stars, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye!